Good morning, my dear students. All of you are most welcome in this morning session of English literature. I am Dr. Naresh Agarwal going to represent a very beautiful novel. The title of the novel is Far from the Madding Crowd, written by Thomas Hardy. As the title of the novel reads, it has been derived from the following stanza of Gray's Far from the madding crowd's ignoble strife. Their sober wishes never learned to stray. So, the title of the novel has been derived from Gray's Elegy written in country churchyard, and the poetic statement is far from the madding crowd's ignoble strife, from where the title has been borrowed. It is possible to interpret the title in an ironical way as well as in a literal sense. Literally, the sense of the story is laid in the quiet countryside, far away from the strife and struggles of city crowds. But, ironically, even in the countryside, which seems so quiet and peaceful, there can be turmoil and confusion, both external and in the mind of man. So, the title of the novel is very apt, where we learnt a lot about the rustic background, even far from the madding crowd. However, let me start the love story of the novel. Far from the madding crowd reveals the story of the love of three men for the same woman. The woman is Bathsheba, and the men are Gabrielok, Farmer Boldwood, and Sergeant Troy. These are three different men who pursue the same woman, Bathsheba, in the novel. Bathsheba, no doubt, is a poor orphan girl who unexpectedly comes into the possession of her rich uncle's farm and property. She is a woman of great charm and beauty. She is refined and highly accomplished. She is very independent minded, self willed, and self confident. So let us propagate the theme. Gabrielok is the first to fall in love with her. Name Gabriel Ock, who falls in love with her at first time. He proposes marriage to her but is rejected. Bathsheba thinks herself to be too good for this man. Gabriel Ock makes his proposal of marriage when Bathsheba has not as yet come into the possession of her uncle's property. Oak's hopes of becoming an independent and prosperous shepherd farmer come to nothing when one night his younger dog drives 200 of his sheep over a precipice, resulting in the death of all the sheep. Gabriel Ock seeks then employment as a wage earner and is employed by Bathsheba, first as a shepherd and then as a kind of manager of her business. Although Oak has been rejected by Bathsheba as a suitor, suitor, he continues to love her steadfast, and he serves her loyally and wholeheartedly without any expectation. Next, what happens? Bathsheba sends a love letter to Troy. Actually, one day Bathsheba writes this letter as the Valentine. This letter kindles an uncontrollable passion in Boldwood. As soon as he learns that the letter is from Bathsheba and then sees the woman, he falls wildly and madly in love with her. He declares his passion to her and appeals to her to marry him. Bathsheba does not love this man and therefore feels perplexed by his vehement pleading of his love. In the meantime, an accident happens, an incidental or accidental situation happens, that she happens to meet Sergeant Troy one night co-accidentally and coincidentally. Troy is generally attracted by her beauty. Subsequently, the sergeant develops his acquaintance with Bathsheba. However, he captures her heart by his handsome appearances, his dashing manner, his flattery, etc. Soon, Bathsheba and Troy get married, and Boldwood's hopes come to nothing. Boldwood's disappointment in love makes him very bitter and gloomy. Further, when a new turn happens, the course of Bathsheba's life takes an unhappy turn when she discovers that her husband had once developed a love affair with a girl called Fanny Robin. She comes to know that Troy had seduced, uksana bhadkana seduced the girl and then deserted her. Fanny Robin dies of childbirth in the poor house at Casterbridge. As Fanny Robin had been a maid servant of Bathsheba's, Bathsheba undertakes to make arrangements for the burial of Fanny. फैनी को दफनाने का जो अरेंजमेंट किया गया वो वहीं उसके घर पे एक रात उसको रखा गया और वहीं तैयारियां की गई बादशेवा के घर से ही. Fanny's coffin is placed in Bathsheba's house for the night to be buried in the morning. It is on this night the Bathsheba's suspicion about the love affair which had once existed between Fanny and Troy is confirmed. However, Troy was killed by Boldwood. Very soon, Bathsheba receives a report that Troy has been drowned. Actually, Troy is still alive. Thinking Bathsheba to have become a widow, Boldwood once again pleads his love to Bathsheba and urges her to promise that she will marry him someday. So pressing and vehement is Boldwood's appeal that Bathsheba feels compelled to give him the required promise. Just at the time, however, Troy bursts upon the scene and claims Bathsheba. Both Boldwood and Bathsheba are stunned to see that Troy is still alive. Under the stress of his emotion, Boldwood fires a gun at Roy and kills him. Boldwood is tried by the court. कोर्ट में मुकदमा चलता है बोल्डवुड के लिए and sentenced to death, but as a result of a mercy petition submitted by the people of Weatherbury, the sentence of death is commuted to imprisonment during Her Majesty's pleasure. It has been found that Boldwood had not been in his right mind for several months before the shooting. The marriage of Bathsheba and Gabriel happens toward the end. Finding herself lonely and friendless, Bathsheba agrees to marry Gabriel Oak, and the story ends with the long delayed union of these two. Gabriel is at last rewarded for his loyal service and devotion to Bathsheba. Now, dear students, let me discuss the major characters of the novel so that you may understand all aspects of the same novel. We have to discuss at first place Bathsheba as the heroine of the novel. She possesses most of the qualities that a heroine in a novel generally possesses, but she is not a perfect or an ideal woman. She has not only her accomplishment and virtues, but also her faults and shortcomings and deficiencies. सारे सद्गुण और अच्छाई और कार्य को पूरा करने वाली बातें नहीं है, बल्कि उसमें कमियां भी हैं, फॉल्ट्स भी हैं, शॉर्ट कमिंग्स एंड डेफिशिएंसीज हैं इसके चरित्र में. However, she wins our love and admiration. She is perhaps one of the best heroines created by Thomas Hardy. Next point about her, vanity. The very first characteristic of Bathsheba, which is revealed to us in the narrative of the novel, is her vanity. She is conscious of her beauty and her physical charm, thinking herself to be alone while on her way to her aunt's house at Norcombe Hill. She looks at herself in the mirror and blushes to find that she is as beautiful as she thought herself to be. This vanity is emphasized subsequently in the course of the story. She has a vain woman's desire to be looked at, to be admired at, to be loved by men. महिलाओं की एक ये तुच्छ और बेकार इच्छा होती है कि जो भी उनको देखे या पुरुष उनको प्रशंसा करे, उनकी प्रशंसा करे और उनको देखता रहे, निहारता रहे और उसको प्यार करे. When she first visits the Casterbridge market, she is the object of all male eyes, but she feels wounded to see that one man, Farmer Boldwood, is completely and utterly indifferent to her. Boldwood, he was actually enticed, मोहित हो गया था by her beauty, and Boldwood lost himself in her love. Boldwood has received the Valentine. He too stares at Bathsheba, and finding this man to have fallen as a victim to her charms, she feels very happy and regards it as a triumph of her beauty. Bathsheba loves flattery for herself. Bathsheba is extremely susceptible to flattery. It is mainly by his flattering remarks and compliments that Troy captures her heart. She cannot imagine that Troy may have a motive in flattering her, nor does she think his flattery to be excessive. Her mind lingers upon the praises of her beauty spoken by Troy in the course of her first accidental meeting with Troy, as also in the course of subsequent meetings. Her mind is teemed with jealousy. It is very universal quality, a type of quality of woman. Sometimes it does a positive work also, so I am saying quality. No doubt it is a negative side of life. She is by nature an extremely jealous woman. Jealousy, वही नफरत is almost universal fault of woman. ईर्ष्या रखना, jealousy. It is universal fault of woman, and Bathsheba is not free from it. She is not exception to it. In fact, it is chiefly on account of this jealousy that she comes to the pressure of Troy and marries him. At Bath, she is told by Troy that he has met another woman more beautiful than she, and that if she does not marry him, he might marry the other woman. This excites her jealousy, which drives her to marry him. Bathsheba feels jealous also of the dead Phani. If she had controlled her jealousy, the separation between her and Troy would not have taken place. If she had handled the situation more tactfully, she could have retained Troy. But she was overcome by a fit of jealousy. एक jealousy ईर्ष्या का था, सो दौरा सा पड़ता था, fit of jealousy when she saw Troy kissing the dead Phani. No doubt she is romantic enough. Her romantic temperament is revealed in the text of the novel. Bathsheba has a deeply emotional nature and a highly romantic temperament. That is the reason why she is bewitched and fascinated by Troy. So, the nature of romanticism is seen everywhere in novel regarding her aspects. Troy is himself a romantic person, and his way of talking, his smart and his attractive appearance, his skill in swordsmanship, तलवारबाज बहुत अच्छा था वो, are the very qualities to stir, to inspire a romantic imagination. Okay? It is due to this characteristic of Bathsheba that she is quite blind to the solid and sterling qualities of homely Gabriel Ock. She is swept off her feet by her dashing spirit of Troy. While she is quite conscious of Ock's loyalty and devotion to her, but she takes it for granted as her due from one who loves and admires her in his own quiet, reserved manner. Next, we have to learn about Gabriel Ock, the so-called the hero of the novel, Gabriel Locke, is undoubtedly the protagonist. He is introduced to us on the very first page of the book and remains with us till the last page of the novel. Really? In the introduction of the novel, we see on the first page Gabriel Locke, and when the novel ends, at the last page, we see also Gabriel Locke there. Thomas Hardy has spent more space and more pains on depicting Gabriel Locke character than the character of any other male figure in the story. Apart from this, the man possesses several qualities which endear him to us and which make us admire and respect him. In the beginning, we see, and throughout the novel also, perhaps his most striking quality is his loyalty and devotion to Bathsheba. Yes, really, he was much devoted. Gabriel Locke was much devoted to Bathsheba. He is solid and dependable as the oak tree whose name he bears. Oak. Really, it is characterized by oak, the word naming tree. As a lover, his passion is not transient or short-lived like that of Troy. Really, everlasting love of Gabriel Locke is reflected in the novel, not like that of Troy. Troy had ephemeral, transient, short-lived love, nor is his love as possessive as that of Boldwood. Boldwood, very much possessive regarding love of Bathsheba. So these negative sides we do not find in the character of Gabriel Locke. He treats love as an enduring, lasting passion which knows how to give without any expectation of any return. It is the real love that without any expectation he is devoted to love. He is a silent, undemonstrative type of lover. He does not show off his love and describes his love and terms and conditions of love in details, in terms of love. He never does so. He does not know how to flatter a woman, nor does he know the art of pleading his love. His fidelity to Bathsheba is remarkable. Really, he was fidel in his love. We may say platonic love also. Really, from the time that he saves her Conric from the fire without knowing that the honor of the Rix is Bathsheba, till the very end he serves Bathsheba wholeheartedly and ungrudgingly. Without any complaints, he is ready to devote and sacrifice each and everything for the heroine. Our next point, simplicity regarding his character. Gabriel Locke is an extremely simple-minded person. He is completely free from all deceit, guile and trickery. Really, he a very simple man. he does not know how to deceive others. He does not know to beguile, धोखा देना, बोंदू बनाना, चालाकियाँ खेलना, ये नहीं जानता वो किसी को भी, किसी के साथ भी. He is so simple-minded as to be almost tactless. When he tells Bathsheba's aunt, that he wants to marry Bathsheba, he does so without any preface. The moment Bathsheba's aunt says that Bathsheba has a dozen or more admirers, he beats a hasty retreat. He is tactless enough to tell Bathsheba that he had seen her masculine antics on horseback while she was riding to town. He also tells her when she gives him her hand that he was not thinking of kissing it. A tactless remark which naturally offends her. Subsequently, he tells her his prospect in life so as to try to prevail upon her to marry him. Again, we see that there are no tacts, no trickeries, no cunningness in his characterization, no cunningness regarding the heroine Bathsheba. He is straightforward character. We see that Gabriel Ock is quite outspoken and straightforward. He chides his mistress for having played a coquettish trick on Boldwood. Really? He frankly tells her that her behavior has been most objectionable. On one occasion, Bathsheba dismisses him from service for his outspokenness. He does not mince matters even to please Bathsheba. When on a second occasion she asks him to quit her service, he reminds her of a previous dismissal of him and subsequent reinstatement and refuses to leave. So, the strength of character we see also in him. He is a man of much endurance of misfortune. Gabriel has a philosophic attitude towards his life. He endures his misfortunes calmly and resolutely. When his dog has driven his sheep over the precipice and he finds them all lying dead at the foot of his hill, he does not curse his luck. It is the greatness of his soul that we never find him cursing his soul throughout the novel. In fact, he thanks God that he was not married. He bears this loss courageously and after disposing of his belongings sets out in search of a job. रवाना हो जाता है जॉब की तलाश में. जब लॉस लग जाता है उसको बेचारा बहुत सा बड़ा. Unable to find employment at the hiring fair, he feels no shame in making a little money by playing upon his flute, an art in which he is well versed. बांसुरी बजाना शुरू कर देता. कभी शौक़ था, घाटा लग गया तो थोड़ा बहुत घर गुजारा पैसा कमाने के लिए वो बांसुरी बजा कर के भी पैसा कमाना, चाहे थोड़ा सा कमाए लेकिन वो भी कर देता है. क्यों? लेकिन ईश्वर को, देवताओं को, स्वर्ग को, भाग्य को कोसता नहीं है वो. Though She does not respond to him for a long time. He does not feel gloomy or depressed like Boldwood. Really, the highness of character is reflected here. Even when Bathsheba is married to Troy, he does not complain or grumble. When subsequently Boldwood is wooing her, he does not put forward his claims. Though his love is disappointed for a long time, he remains calm and courageous. So, he is much tolerant. His tolerance power is very much in this novel. He is well versed in all the arts of a shepherd too. In fact, he possesses an exceptional skill as a shepherd. He tends his own sheep and subsequently Bathsheba's sheep with great care and affection. He is an adept, you can call masterly skill, adept, nipun, daksh in sheep washing, sheep shearing, भेड़ों को धोने में, उनके बाल काटने इत्यादि में बड़ा दक्ष और मास्टर स्किल था, डेक्स्ट्रस स्किल थी, एडेप्ट था, कुशलता, माहिर था. When Bathsheba's sheep have burst into a field of young clover and have got poisoned, he is the only person in Weatherbury who can save their lives by performing a skillful operation on them to let out their blood. He also shows a great ingenuity and skill in saving the ricks of Bathsheba, first from fire and then from rain and storm. He possesses a creditable knowledge of the position of the various stars in the sky and can judge the hour of night or day by looking at the position of the stars or the sun. Next aspect of his character is self-respect. Though he loves Bathsheba deeply, he is not without self-respect even in his relationship with her. When she dismisses him from service for his frank condemnation of her conduct towards Boldwood, he immediately goes away. When Bathsheba sends him a signal of distress, he refuses to come unless he is asked with more politeness to come. It is only when Bathsheba sends him a written appeal that he agrees to come. He is not the clinging type of lover who would efface his dignity and self-respect for the whims of mistress. When she signalizes the problems and distresses, he refuses to come. So he is a man of self-respect. Moreover, he is a man of kind and sympathetic nature. He is by nature kind-hearted and sympathetic. He feels very sad at the premature and tragic end of his 200 sheep. When he meets Fanny Robin by chance, without knowing the girl, he offers her a shilling on seeing her distress, even though he is himself a needy person at the time. Later he feels a great sympathy for Boldwood in the latter's disappointment in love and at his sad fate. When Boldwood was trying to court and win Bathsheba Gabriel did not enter into any rivalry without him and his total consciousness. He is full of consciousness, but he accepts it and he remains under control. He is also a man of literary taste. He is not only a man of good nature, kind heart, but also a man of letters. He is not only an illiterate and uneducated person, he is a man of literacy taste. He has a small collection of books from which he derives knowledge as well as pleasure. His collection include Paradise Lost, The Pilgrim's Progress, Robinson Crusoe and the Young Man's Best Companion, etc. He had acquired more sound information from these books by his close study than many men of opportunities do from a big library. Thus, his literary taste gives him a certain refinement and culture and raises him much above the various rustic characters in the story. Apart from, he has funny aspects in his life too. Gabriel Zok is not without his funny side in his own life. We are told that he was a man of journal, good character on working days, that he went to church on Sundays, not from any religious motives, but merely as a formality, that during the sermons he often yawned, ubasiyan lena, yawning karna. When his friends were pleased with him, they thought him a good man. When they were displeased with him, they thought him a bad man. When they were neither pleased nor displeased, they thought him partly good, partly bad. He carried a watch which was so big that it could be called a small clock. हाथ में बांधने वाली घड़ी इतनी बड़ी सारी घड़ी थी कि वो कलाई वाली घड़ी न लग के दीवार पे टांगने वाली घड़ी लगती थी, तो मजाक उड़ाने के लिए स्मॉल क्लॉक मैन कह दिया इसको. यस, दिस इंस्ट्रूमेंट वाज सेवरल ईयर्स ओल्डर देन Oak's grandfather. Thus, we see different aspects and sides of his characterization. However, it may be pointed out that Oak was not Puritan. He liked a drink and a chat in the malt house, but he was not excessively addicted to drink as were the other workmen. Simply, he took his pleasures in modernization, so we can say he is no more Puritan, a man of eat, drink and be merry. Common nature of his characterization is seen. Next, we have to understand the character of Sergeant Troy. Sergeant Troy was no ordinary person. He was an exceptional being. Sergeant Troy believed essentially in the present. He was neither interested in the past nor in the future. Memories of the past were a burden to him, and expectations about the futures were irrelevant to him. He felt and cared for what was before his eyes only. That is so he could be regarded as one of the most fortunate person in the world, because memories are really a disease, while expectations generally bring about disappointment. What he never enjoyed, he never missed, but he knew that he enjoyed what most people missed. He was moderately truthful toward men, but toward women he told extravagant lies. औरतों के सामने तो बड़ी झूठे बोलना, गप्पे हाँकना, उनको प्रसन्न करने के लिए चापलूसी करना, ये करना, सारे दंत बंद करता है। हाँ, आदमियों के सामने ये झूठ नहीं बोलता क्योंकि उनसे कोई लालच नहीं होता ना, इसलिए। दिस हैबिट यूज्ड टू विन हिम पॉपुलैरिटी at the very outset of his entrance in any form of society. He was a fairly well educated man. He spoke fluently, unceasingly, बिना रुके, non-stop he starts speaking. His vices too are seen. दुर्गुण भी उसके चरित्र के नॉवल में दिखते हैं। He had his vices, सद्गुण भी हैं, but his vices were not of virtues हैं, सद्गुण, लेकिन उसकी vices, दुर्गुण जो है वो भी ऐसे हैं, लेकिन इस प्रकार के दुर्गुण हैं vices की वो हर किसी को देखने में उसके नोटिस में नहीं आते। He had his vices, but his vices were not of the kind that quickly come to notice of other persons. He gambled, he drank, and he sought the pleasure of love. His vices were often the offspring of impulse, while his virtues conduct was always the result of cool meditation. So a different type of man he is. Sergeant Troy, a big flatterer. Sergeant Troy had a wonderful power of flattering women. He would flatter a woman in the most extravagant terms in order to charm and win her. It was chiefly by his exaggerated compliments that he produced a favorable effect upon the mind of Bathsheba. On his very first accidental meeting with her, he said that he was thankful to her for giving him an opportunity to see her beautiful face. कैसी बातें बना रहे, एक महिला दिग्गी किस प्रकार से बातें कर रहा है, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद कि आपने अपना चेहरा दिखाया। और ऐसी बातें बड़ी मारने आती है कि औरतों को बेटा चक्कर में ले लेता है अपने। Even when Bathsheba scolded him for speaking so familiarly to her, he said that he was thankful for beauty when it was thrown to him like a bone to a dog. जैसे कुत्ते के सामने एक हड्डी डाल दी जाती है, वैसे ही आपका सुंदर चेहरा मेरे सामने आ गया, बताओ मैं प्रशंसा किए बिना कैसे रुकूं। जब वो डांट रही थी बादशिवा, कैसे इतना क्लोजली क्यों बात करते हो। तो इस प्रकार का बड़ा बातूनी और चापलूस चरित्र सामने दिखता है। However, a different treatment to different characters is also seen in his characterization in the novel. We cannot forgive Sergeant Troy for his villainous conduct toward Fanny Robin. Fanny Robin के साथ इसने एक ये विलेन जैसा, खलनायक जैसा व्यवहार किया, उसको हम भुला नहीं सकते। He seduced her after giving her assurance of marriage and then took her appeals for marriage lightly. It is true that he did make an appointment with her in order to marry her, and that it was Fanny's own fault that she failed to keep that appointment. But Sergeant Troy felt more relief than regret at Fanny's failure to keep the appointment with her in order to marry her. But dear students, in my personal opinion, if he had been genuine or sincere, he could have made another appointment with Fanny. यदि वो इतना ही साहूकार और सही साफ सच्चा बन रहा था, जब एक बार अपॉइंटमेंट दिया और वो एक बार नहीं मिल पाई तो दूसरा फिर अपॉइंटमेंट देता, क्या प्रॉब्लम आ रही थी? बट इट डिड नॉट हैपन सो. बट इट इज़ क्वाइट क्लियरली दैट he had merely been flirting with Fanny for pleasure and not because he loved her truly. दिल से आत्मा से प्यार करना जिम्मेवारी निभाने वाली बात नहीं थी, वो तो शरीर से अटखेलियाँ करना चाह रहा था. दैट इज़ द फ्लॉ ऑफ हिज कैरेक्टर, उसके चरित्र की कमी है. By failing to marry her, he was directly responsible for Fanny's most tragic एंड हार्ट रेंडिंग एंड दिल को चीर देने वाला हार्ट रेंडिंग समापन होता है. लाइकवाइज हिज लव फॉर बाथशेबा वाज आल्सो ए फ्लीटिंग पैशन. बहुत ही ऐसा लगता है कि बस ये मैदान छोड़ के भागा, बस अपनी सेक्सुअल डिज़ायर पूरी की, बाकी कोई लेना देना नहीं है उन बातों से. प्यार क्या है रियल में? As soon as he had tasted her beauty, he seemed to tire of her. थक भी गया. अब ये थोड़ी है कि एक बार इंजॉय कर लिया तो उसके बाद फिर लाइफ में ही थक जाए उस लेडी से. नो. His initial ardent manner as a lover soon changed into a matter of fact. शुरू में इतना जिद्दी प्रेमी लवर दिख रहा था, अब एक बार में ही उसका मन ही भर गया. तो ये थोड़ा सा ये उसके जीवन के चरित्र का कमी वाला पक्ष भी यहाँ पर उजागर होता है. ऐसा कैरेक्टर भी काम का नहीं होता. इन असेसिंग सार्जेंट ट्रॉय मॉरल कैरेक्टर वी मस्ट टेक इनटू एन अकाउंट द रिमोर्स एंड रिपेंटेंस दैट he experienced when he saw the dead body of Fanny. कितना रिमोर्स, पश्चाताप करता है जब उसकी डेड बॉडी को देखता है. पर मुझे अब पछताए होत क्या जब चिड़िया चुग गई खेत. उसके जीवन में जब वो जीवती थी, जब तो बेचारी को कुछ एहसास ऐसा रियल लव का होने नहीं दिया, जब तो वही चालाकियाँ, सेक्सी प्यार और कुछ जीवन में कुछ नहीं. और अब पश्चाताप और उन चीज़ों का कोई महत्व नहीं रहता. एक और सामने बात डियर स्टूडेंट्स ये हमारे सामने आती है. फॉर बाथशेबा ऑल्सो हिज देर वॉज नो प्योर लव, only he was infatuated. So we can summarize that he is a different type of man who believes in flattering to make victim woman of his sexual desires. Understanding? The next character we have to study a little bit about Farmer Boldwood, because to understand novel these are very important characters. Farmer Boldwood is depicted as an usually serious, solemn, sober, sedate person. He led a life of philosophic aloofness. He presents a sharp contrast to Sergeant Troy's gay nature, optimism and lively interest in the world. ट्रॉय तो रोमांटिक नेचर, चापलूस और इस प्रकार का था ना. बोल्डवुड वॉज ए ग्लूमी पर्सन. ही नेवर enjoyed any of the pleasure of life. He never mixed with people. He had no social contacts and he led a solitary life. एकांत जीवन जिया. He had been known for a long time as a confirmed bachelor. He had never shown any interest in women, though it was rumored that his unusual seriousness and indifference to women were a result of some early disappointment in love. However, his passion for Bathsheba, the Valentine which Bathsheba sent to Boldwood, unthinkingly caused a great stir, a type of inspiration in the depths of Boldwood's heart. These words, "Marry me," produced a strange effect upon him. He could not forget the letter or its contents. Actually, Bathsheba gave her desire of expression in one letter to him. In that letter, in a funny mood, she writes, "Marry me," and after reading this letter, he is not able to forget those emotions. After learning from Gabriel that the handwriting on the Valentine was that of Bathsheba, his curiosity about the writer was further aroused. On the following market day in Casterbridge, therefore, Boldwood looked at Bathsheba greedily. She was the disturber of his dreams. It was as if Adam had awakened from his deep sleep and suddenly seen Eve, Adam and Eve की तरह से. He inspected Bathsheba closely and thought her beautiful. बहुत बारीकी से, जैसे किसी लेडीज़ को, महिला को नज़दीक से बहुत ही ज़्यादा देखते हैं, इसने बहुत नज़दीक से उसको एवरी मूवमेंट ऑफ हिज बॉडी, एवरी कर्व ऑफ हर बॉडी देखा और इसके लिए इमोशंस उसके मन में जागृत हो गए. हिज आईज फॉलोड हर वेयर एवर शी वेंट. ही हैड कंसीव्ड ए पैशन for this woman. This passion soon developed into a mania. हर प्रकार का मैनिया जो होता था ना, आवश्यकता से ज़्यादा बुखड़ सा हो गया था वो. His mental for वो सेवा बात के लिए, His mental equilibrium was disturbed. उसका जो मानसिक संतुलन को वो खो बैठा था. His nature was such that either he felt no emotion or an emotion ruled him completely. He took the earliest opportunity to contact Bathsheba and to tell her of his passion of her. He pleaded his case with great emphasis and sincerity and proposed marriage to her, though in vain. But even her refusal did not diminish his passion. Nothing mattered to him now except Bathsheba. एक वो सॉन्ग आता था ना हिंदी में, जैसे वो बन के नस नस में बन के लहू समाई है, तो ये बोल्डवुड का हाल हो गया था बाथशेबा के लिए. Once again he pressed her to agree to become his wife, but that also did not yield any type of positive result. कोई सकारात्मक परिणाम नहीं निकला. Subsequently she married Troy and Boldwood lost all interest in life. He became indifferent to his form. He felt gloomy. मातम सा छा गया all time in his life. His hope of marrying Bathsheba revived when Troy was reported to have been drowned. जब ये बाद में मैसेज आया कि वो डूब गया पानी में और वो जीवित नहीं है, तो इसके अंदर वापस से जीवन जीने के लिए एक नई आशा जाग गई. किसमें? बोल्डवुड में. जब उसको पता लगा कि ट्रॉय संसार में नहीं रहा. नाउ ही वॉज रेडी. Again he was ready to find Bathsheba in her life as a life partner. Now he was ready to wait for 7 years in order to marry Bathsheba, but his passion was not to be fulfilled, and he met a sad fate. Indeed, we are astonished at the volcanic passion that lay beneath the tranquil, calm exterior of Boldwood, that is far from the madding crowd. Title is going to deliver its aptness here in this characterization. When these volcanic fires were ignited, nothing could bring them under control. He paid a heavy price for being so abnormally passionate. Moreover, he was a man of much crazy for Bathsheba. In his characterization, several examples are there. There were several sets of ladies' dresses, skills, and dear students, one disturbance is here, so please take only 30 seconds stop. So let me start. In classroom there 2 or 3 students came. Okay, so my mind was distracted. Then let me start this topic once again. Okay, yes, it is in classroom program na, so that's why a natural teaching is going to happen. ये बहुत ज़्यादा क्रेजी था. इसके करेक्टराइजेशन के ऊपर थोड़ा सा देख रहे हैं कि ये एबनॉर्मल सी वी सी इन हिज करेक्टराइजेशन, and in the text of the novel there were several examples we see. With him we see that there were several sets of ladies' dresses, silks and satins, poplins, velvets. There was a case of jewelry, bracelets and lockets and rings, all of fine quality and manufacture. These things Boldwood had been buying from time to time and keeping them in a closet in anticipation of his marriage with Bathsheba. एंटिसिपेट करता है, कल्पनाएँ करता है कि कभी तो उसे शादी होगी तो खरीद गहने सोने रखता है उसके लिए. All these articles were carefully packed in a paper and each package was labeled बादशिवा बोल्डवुड. और वो पेपर के ऊपर लिख भी देता है पहले बादशिवा और साथ में बोल्डवुड, मानो की कल्पना के अंदर हस्बैंड वाइफ बन गए हो. दिस वॉज डेफिनेट एविडेंस ऑफ माइंड crazy. However, his true assessment of his characterization, leaving aside Boldwood's wild and uncontrollable passion for Bathsheba, we must admit that he was thorough gentleman. He was fair in his dealings with everyone. He offered Gabriel a share in his farm. He also expressed his appreciation of Gabriel's conduct in keeping his love for Bathsheba under control and not entering into a rivalry with himself over Bathsheba. He was respected by all. There was nothing crooked or dishonest about him. Indeed, we feel sorry for him when he is sentenced to death and heave a sigh of relief when his sentence is commuted to imprisonment during Her Majesty's pleasure. The people of Weatherbury also felt much relief on learning that Boldwood was not to be hanged. His punishment has been changed from hanging to only imprisonment. People also supported him. So, dear students, very praiseworthy here. Nor can we blame him much for his shooting of Troy. It was only when he found that Bathsheba was unwilling to go with Troy and that Troy was using force with her that he fired the gun. After shooting Troy, he wanted to shoot himself also, and failing to do that, he went straight to the police station and surrendered himself. In the court, he confessed his guilt and did not try to put up any defense or any excuse. जहाँ तक केवल बादशिवा के कैरेक्टर की बात है, बादशिवा के कैरेक्टर को चलो जैसा भी अच्छे बुरे बाई होकर क्रुक जैसे ये इनके प्राकरण वो चाहता है उसको छोड़ दिया जाए, उस एपिसोड को उसके लाइफ से निकाल दिया जाए तो बहुत बढ़िया जेंटलमैन है। क्योंकि जब इसको सज़ा और पुलिस का चक्कर था, वो केस था, तो वेदरबरी के लोग भी इसकी सिफारिश करने आए थे कि ये तो बहुत बढ़िया जेंटलमैन है, कभी किसी को धोखा नहीं दिया, हमेशा हंसमुख रहा, लोगों की रिस्पेक्ट की, लोगों ने इसकी रिस्पेक्ट की, इस प्रकार का चरित्र है। बस वो बादशिवा को लेकर के ओवर पॉजेसिव था, तो बाई हुक और क्रुक उसको प्राप्त करना चाहता था। इन शॉर्ट ये थोड़ा नावल के बारे में संक्षिप्त में प्रिय विद्यार्थियों आपको काफ़ी सीखने को मिला, और अब थोड़ा सा इसको आप चाहो तो मैं हिंदी में एक्सप्लेन कर दूं कि ये जो टाइटल का नावल है ये एक पोइम है, एलिजी रिटन इन कंट्री चर्चयार्ड बाय ग्रे। तो टॉमस ग्रे की एलिजी के अंदर एक पोइटिक स्टेटमेंट आती है, फार फ्रॉम मैडिंग क्राउड्स, तो वहाँ से इसका टाइटल लिया गया है। यद्यपि वो अलग सेंस में बिल्कुल बात कही है, लेकिन यहाँ आयरॉनिकली सेंस में हम कह सकते हैं, बड़ा पॉसिबली इंटरप्रेट कर सकते हैं कि जैसे कोई भी घटना सिटी से बहुत दूर, क्योंकि सिटी में बहुत क्राउड होती है, सिटी एरिया में मच पॉपुलेटेड एरिया होता है, तो ग्रामीण एरिया में पीस, शांति, ट्रैंक्विलिटी, खामोशी हर तरफ होती है। पर यहाँ एक आयरॉनिकल सेंस में बताया गया है कि ग्रामीण आंचल है, ग्रामीण चरित्र है, पात्र हैं, कैरेक्टर हैं, लेकिन फिर भी ये क्या है, इनके माइंड के अंदर इतना टमल्ट, इतनी कन्फ्यूज़न, इतनी हसल बसल, इतनी ज़्यादा हलचल, इतना तूफ़ानी एक माहौल बना हुआ था। तो फार फ्रॉम मैडिंग क्राउड एक आयरॉनिकल सेंस में इस टाइटल की सूटेबिलिटी यहाँ पर प्रस्तुत की गई है। अब यहाँ पर प्रिय विद्यार्थियों थोड़ा सा समझ लेना कि नावल के टेक्स्ट में एक महिला है, लड़की है, अभी शुरू में महिला कह लो, 13 साल के बाद महिला हो जाती है, बादशिवा, जिसको 3 आदमी प्यार करने लगते हैं। गैब्रियल ऑक भी चाहता है, फार्मर बोल्डवुड भी चाहता है, सार्जेंट ट्रॉय भी चाहता है। अब गैब्रियल की बात है, ये तीनों अलग अलग तरीके से उसको प्यार करना चाहते हैं। बहुत सुंदर है, ठीक है, लेकिन वो बहुत धनवान नहीं है, लेकिन अपने अंकल की प्रॉपर्टी के कुदरती संपर्क में आई और उसकी मलकियत मालिकाना हक से उसको यूज़ करने लगी, तो थोड़ा सा उसकी स्थिति में सुधार आता है। गैब्रियल ऑक है, ये फर्स्ट ऐसा व्यक्ति है जो उसको प्यार करता है। ये प्रपोज़ देता है मैरिज का, लेकिन वो रिजेक्ट कर देती है। फिर वो उसके बारे में जाके बताता है, तो उसको कुल मिला के एक बार मना हो जाती है। तो गैब्रियल ऑक इस बात के ऊपर अपनी वो हिम्मत नहीं हारता है। फिर हम यहाँ दूसरी बात देखते हैं कि जो फार्मर बोल्डवुड है, ये बहुत सीरियस माइंडेड व्यक्ति है जो महिलाओं में इंटरेस्ट नहीं लेता। लेकिन एक बार क्या हुआ था, बादशिवा ने खुद ने लेटर लिखा मजाक में, केवल मजाक में, और उसको लिख दिया कि वो प्यार करती है ये और वो, ऐसे मैरी मी। तो उस लेटर को देखा कि हैंडराइटिंग देखा वगैरह सारा, तो उसके मन में रियली प्यार उमड़ पड़ा। तो इतना सीरियस जो मैन था फार्मर बोल्डवुड, वो भी उसके प्यार में एकदम से पागल और इतना भयंकर वो हो गया था कि पूछो ही मत। फिर इत्तेफाक से कोइंसिडेंटली क्या हुआ कि एक रात को ट्रॉय वहाँ पर उसको सार्जेंट ट्रॉय दिखता है और उसके साथ फिर उसकी शादी हो जाती है सार्जेंट ट्रॉय के साथ में। लेकिन ये शादी बहुत लंबे समय तक उनकी नहीं चल पाती है और फिर उनसे एक एक करके उनसे कट ऑफ हो जाता है और फिर वापस लास्ट में ये ट्रॉय से कट ऑफ हुआ, फिर बोल्डवुड उससे पूरा नहीं निभा, तो फिर गैब्रियल ऑग से नावल के एंड में उसकी शादी होती है। और इसके अंदर जो मुख्य मुख्य चरित्र हैं वो मैंने चर्चा कर दी है प्रिय विद्यार्थियों। तो इसके अंदर जितने चरित्र आए वो आप एक बार उनकी लिस्ट थोड़ा सा ध्यान से सुन लो कि सबसे नंबर पे एक जो हीरोइन है नावल की वो खुद बादशिवा है। उसके सारे पहलू को हमने डिटेल में इंग्लिश में बता दिया है और इंग्लिश भी इतने आराम इतने सरल तरीके से बोली है कि सेंटेंस वाइज आप सुन सकते हो, समझ सकते हो। उसको अपनी चापलूसी बहुत पसंद है, कोई उसकी प्रशंसा करे बहुत पसंद है, उसमें जेलसी भी भरी पड़ी है, ये रोमांटिक टेम्परामेंट भी है। और जब भी इतने सारे लोगों के साथ में उसने अलग अलग तरीके से मन में सोचा गैब्रियल ऑग इस नावल का हीरो है, बहुत ये एक धीर गंभीर प्रवृत्ति का और निभाने वाला और जीवन में स्थिरता के साथ चलने वाला है कैरेक्टर है। ये बादशिवा के लिए बहुत ही लॉयल है, बहुत डिवोटेड है, बहुत समर्पित कार्य इसके लिए हीरो है। वो ठीक है उसको रिजेक्ट कर देती है तो भी वो बुरा नहीं मानता, इनकी एज में भी बहुत डिफरेंस है, लेकिन फिर कई स्टेज पर वापस उसके साथ रहने की बात आती है तो फिर भी वो स्वीकार करता है। लेकिन एक बार वो ज़रूर उसको थोड़ा सा डांटती फटकारती है जब वो उसको सर्विस में रख लेती है अपने यहाँ। तो लेकिन इसमें सेल्फ़ रिस्पेक्ट भी इतनी भरी हुई है कि ये कहता है कि एक बार चला गया तो दोबारा लौट के नहीं आएगा। तो ये इस प्रकार से सेल्फ़ रिस्पेक्ट भी चाहने वाला बहुत ही सिंपल कैरेक्टर है। इसको चालाकियाँ और आधुनिक संसार की बातें ऐसी कुछ नहीं आती है ना, बिल्कुल सिंपल भोला वाला कैरेक्टर है, लेकिन दिल का भी बड़ा उदार है और हर स्थिति में सहयोग देने के लिए तैयार रहता है। और जो भाग्य विपत्तियाँ आती हैं, मिस फॉर्चून आते हैं, उनको एंड्योर करने की, सहन करने की इसमें बड़ी क्षमता है और सहन कर भी जाता है बिना भाग्य को कोसे हुए। इस प्रकार का कैरेक्टर है। और शेफर्ड गडरियों वाली हर क्वालिटी है। वो खुद की वो जो क्या होती हैं, शीप को हिंदी में बोलते हैं, वाइट बकरी सी भेड़ को, खुद की भेड़ों को भी रखता है, वो बादशिवा की भेड़ों को भी रखता है। भेड़ों की नहलाना धुलाना, कटिंग करना, उनको सब नर्सिंग केयरिंग करना बहुत अच्छे तरीके में हुनर है इसका। सेल्फ़ रिस्पेक्ट भी बहुत है और ये इसमें काइंड सिंपैथेटिक हार्टेड भी है। और इसके पास ऐसा नहीं है कि केवल ये भेड़ चराने वाला गडरिया टाइप ही है, इसके पास किताबों का भी कलेक्शन है। पैराडाइज लॉस्ट, मिल्टन जैसे कि श्रेष्ठ कवियों की किताबें, पिलग्रिम्स प्रोग्रेस और ऐसी किताबों का इसके पास में कलेक्शन भी है। ठीक है, नेक्स्ट कैरेक्टर सार्जेंट ऑफ ट्रॉय की हम बात करें तो ये क्या चीज़ है, एक ऐसा व्यक्ति है कि ये कहता है सार्जेंट ट्रॉय कि ना तो भूतकाल में जियो ना भविष्य में, जो वर्तमान है बस उसी में जियो, है ना। और ये व्यक्ति जो था एक एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी क्वालिटी का व्यक्ति इसको माना जाता है और ये इसके चारित्र की बड़ी विशेषता भी रही है। और ये बहुत ही अपने जीवन में महिलाओं की बातें छोड़ें तो ये सोसाइटी के प्रति और ये ठीक है और एजुकेटेड भी है। और लेकिन ये जो है बहुत ही ज़्यादा थोड़ा सा फ्लैटरर बहुत ज़्यादा है। सुंदर महिलाएं दिख जाएं या जैसी भी स्थिति हो तो महिलाओं की इतनी भयंकर चापलूसी करता है, ऐसे ऐसे शब्द प्रयोग करता है तो महिला आखिर इसके शिकार इसकी बातों की शिकार हो ही जाती है। तो इसकी ये बड़ी ख़ास बात है और थोड़ा सा चालाक टाइप और बहुत ज़्यादा इस प्रकार का कैरेक्टर है। इसने फैनी रॉबिन नाम की लड़की को चालाकी से पहले अपना एक शिकार बनाया, फिर बेचारी की डेथ हुई। अब उसको ये भी नहीं कि उसको संभाल के रखें, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी से करें। ये थोड़ी है कि उस लड़की का एक बार उसको पहले प्रशंसा कर कुरा के अपने चंगुल में ले लिया, जब बेचारी फंस गई अगले क्षण उसका मन भर गया। तो ये बात उसके जीवन की गलत है। लेकिन जब फैनी रॉबिन की डेथ हो जाती है तो उस पर बड़ा पश्चाताप करता है। तो अब मैं मेरी तरफ से एक बात करता हूँ, का वर्षा जब कृषि सुखाने, जब वो जीवित थी तो महत्व नहीं दिया, अब मर गई जब फूट के रो रहा था उसका मतलब क्या हुआ। इसलिए ये बात मुझे ज़्यादा अच्छी इसके कैरेक्टर की नहीं लगी है। जो बोल्डवुड है वो एक बहुत ही सीरियस, बहुत ही सोबर, सिंपल, सीरियस आदमी है और ग्लूमी, बहुत ही इस प्रकार का रहने वाला है। लेकिन जब इस लड़की ने, बाथशेबा ने उसको लेटर लिखा कि मैरी मी, तो उसके मन के अंदर आग लगी और फिर ऐसी आग लगी, और महिलाओं के लिए नहीं, सिर्फ इसके लिए, कि बहुत ज़्यादा ओवर पॉजेसिव टाइप होने ये लगा इसके लिए बहुत ही ज़्यादा। और वो फिर इसकी ओवर पॉजेसिवनेस जो है, अपना मालिकाना अधिकार समझना औरत के ऊपर, तो वो ज़्यादा उसको कामयाबी की ओर नहीं ले गया। और एंड में क्या होता है, नॉवल के एंड में गैब्रिएल के साथ ही बाथशेबा का विवाह होता है। ओके माय डियर स्टूडेंट्स, ये पूरी नॉवल मैंने हिंदी इंग्लिश में आपको समझा दी है। टॉमस हार्डी के द्वारा लिखी गई है। नॉवल का नाम है फार फ्रॉम द मैडिंग क्राउड। इसके कैरेक्टर्स भी मैंने इसमें एक्सप्रेस कर दिए। टॉमस हार्डी के जितने भी नॉवल्स हैं उसमें निराशावादी दृष्टिकोण इन्होंने अपनाया। एक्चुअली ये पैसिमिस्टिक अप्रोच के लेखक हैं, और जो देहाती विलेजर्स हैं, रस्टिक्स हैं, पुअर गरीब लोग हैं, किसान लोग हैं, कृषक मजदूर हैं, उनकी जीवन जिंदगी से जो एक वास्तव में रियल फिलॉसफी ऑफ लाइफ आई है, और उनके चरित्र चित्रों का उनकी फ़िलासफ़ी के माध्यम से चित्रांकन किया गया है। और पैसिमिस्टिक अप्रोच के आदमी है, और इन्होंने हर जगह ये बात लिखाई है कि ऊपर जो स्वर्ग में देवी देवता बैठे हैं ना, वो मनुष्य के भाग्य के ऐसा मारते हैं जैसे मनुष्य मक्खी मच्छर को मार देता है। तो इस प्रकार से ये निराशावादी दृष्टिकोण के आदमी, और इनके हर लेखक के, इनकी हर कृतियों के अंदर केवल यही दृष्टिकोण है, और सभी चरित्र भी, इनके पात्र भी इसी प्रकार के मिलते हैं। और गरीब मजदूर देहाती तबकों की इन्होंने बात की है, और वो भी इन्होंने कहा है कि जो मनुष्य का जन्म है ना, वो खुशियों के लिए नहीं हुआ है, वो केवल सफ़र करने, सहन करने के लिए हुआ है। और कहता है लाइफ इज़ ए ट्रेजिक ड्रामा, लाइफ इज़ ट्रेजिक ड्रामा लिखा है इसने, कि पूरा ज़िंदगी है ना, ये तो ट्रेजिक ड्रामा है, ठीक है ना। कॉमिक सीन आते हैं इक्का दुक्का आके और वो बंद हो जाते हैं, लेकिन दुख तो सदाबहार, ट्रेजिक एस्पेक्ट तो जीवन में, ट्रेजेडी तो जन्म से लेकर मृत्यु तक साथ रहती हैं। इसी दृष्टिकोण से इस नावल को हमें देखना है।